Resurrection by ResurrectionDev is one of those atmospheric changes mods that changes so much that it almost makes Fallout seem like an entirely new landscape in game. This pretty much retextures so much of the game and adds a more realistic atmosphere to it. The mod author set out to create a true-to-life version of what he thinks, or what most likely would happen, with 200 years of no intervention by mankind to change the landscape of Earth. If you leave a car out, even for a few weeks or years, it'll become covered in overbrush, in shrubbery, vines. If left to its own devices, nature would quickly rebuild and cover all the monoliths man has created. And with the Resurrection mod, I feel that the mod author has truly captured this feeling of Earth rebuilding itself, rejuvenating itself. And I think it is a very, very good mod. It also, for some reason, makes Fallout seem slightly more creepy with all this shrubbery and greenery all around, the foliage. At any moment, something could pop out and get you, because it's so well hidden within the dense underbrush of the landscape. It leaves you to be more cautious while wandering the wasteland. It even makes you think of things like, what about snakes? And there are no snakes in Fallout. Too bad. Maybe next time around. The mod author has also gone as far as to retexturing the trees, retexturing the cars, retexturing the streets, retexturing buildings, adding weeds growing on all sorts of anything that hasn't moved, anything that is static will be just totally covered in vegetation. And I think this mod is very, very good. The only critique I have is there's too much vegetation in the drive-in area where it's all just a big drive-in. I don't think that the whole thing would be covered in grass and such, but hell, I could be wrong. This is the artist's vision. Just an opinion of my own. The mod author has two versions of this, by the way. There's also the completely destroyed, dystopian Fallout version, which I also think is great. This mod alone gives people a choice. You can have it be a complete and utter wasteland, which could be more true to the Fallout lore, or you could have a world rejuvenating itself, 200 years without mankind intervening. So this covers a lot of bases and has something for everyone. In fact, the destroyed and distraught version of Fallout with the dead trees is so well done. I wish it should have been in the vanilla game. The texture work on the rocks also is fantastic. I do feel there's a few too many rocks in odd places, but once again, this is just personal taste and preference, not to step on the artist's artistic vision. All in all, I do feel if you are bored with Fallout's landscape, then this mod is definitely for you. Commonwealth Chickens and Rabbits by Jet4571 uses assets from Far Harbor and places them in the Commonwealth now, so they're indigenous to all areas in Fallout 4, which I feel is great. Now there's no need to wonder where the fuck the chicken legs came from, because you never saw any chickens. Somehow there was chicken, fried chicken around, but there was never any chickens. And the rabbits are cool too. Unfortunately, I didn't come across any in the wild while running around, but I did find a few chickens just chilling out in my settlements. I feel for immersion's reasons that this is a needed mod. When you're going around the forest, it makes perfect sense to see a rabbit running around, and when you're at your farm, it makes perfect sense to see chickens. Hopefully there will be a mod that implements the ability to breed chickens or have a chicken pen or something. That would be really cool. Far Harbor Fog Performance Enhancer by SparrowPrince is a much needed alteration to Far Harbor. First of all, he wants to thank a loot and Fringe07 for testing this out for him and getting rid of all the bugs that led to a great deal of crashing. This should hopefully at least reduce stuttering in the DLC, as it contains reduced particle emitter nodes, most from 6 to 2, as well as reduced particle lifetime for the fog. If you don't understand a word of that, it just means stuff got reduced, and that's always better in terms of performance. I honestly doubt you could tell much of a difference anyway. That's how pointless Bethesda's extra particles were. That is all I have to say about that. Obviously, those with lesser hardware will see a big benefit to this than those with the latest stuff. It has been said to at least reduce stuttering quite a bit, even on high-end hardware. Just don't expect miracles. And so far, this remains to be true. This mod has definitely reduced stuttering a great deal for me on a 4790K water-cooled at 4.6 GHz overclocked and a 980 Ti also water-cooled. I found that my experience in Far Harbor was a hell of a lot smoother, and I no longer had the ridiculous odd slowing down in frames. I didn't know what it was, but when Far Harbor first came out, it was definitely weird. Like, it'd be at 60 FPS and all of a sudden it would slow down to 24 depending on the situation or how frantic or chaotic battles got. But now that is no longer a problem. As the mod author said, do not expect miracles. This will help, but it will not alleviate all the problems Bethesda has placed in this game. Blame it on a very, very old engine, and possibly a developer that knows that modders will fix anything that they come up short on. Thank you, SparrowPrince. And the Katata fish. Do-it-yourself clutter for shelves and bookcases by dinozaurz. The aim of this mod is to offer an easy way to fill up those empty bookshelves and make settlements look a little more lived in. I've been brainstorming ideas on how to make shelves a little less empty in my settlements, but without the work of placing every individual item every time. What I've come up with is this: shelves with snap nodes and pre-made clutter, and shelf sizes with snap nodes. Place on a shelf, snap clutter in. This is still currently in a very early version, an alpha possibly. Now, how does this work? It can be a little confusing if you don't pay attention, but the mod author makes it very blatantly clear. You must look for shelves that have dino shelf in order to use the snap nodes. Otherwise, if you make the mistake of just grabbing any sort of shelf, you won't be able to place your items on top of said shelf. So it's not an issue with the mod author's creation, it's you not paying attention. So make sure you keep that in mind before you say this doesn't work. I've illustrated this in a video, hopefully you noticed. Once completed, it is a very clean mod. This is the perfect mod for anyone who is into house building, anyone who's into base building, anyone who's into building their little fort and personalizing it, making it seem more at home, more cozy, more theirs versus an assortment of random junk thrown here and there to make a settlement look decent. I believe this will be the perfect mod for those out there who have a sort of Sims mentality to their base building. Oh, well, that's it for me. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you, as always, for tuning into my channel. If you like the video, like it. If you don't, then, click don't like it button. And remember, I have a Twitter and, what's the other one? Twitch. That's it. Okay. Alright, I'm seriously out of here because I'm too tired.